What's up, Brewscrees? Do I keep that or just try it again? Brewscrees.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Good way to start the year, Marco.
Yeah. Welcome to the first episode of the new year, 2023. We hope that you guys had a nice holiday. We hope you spent it with your loved ones. Or if you didn't do anything, we hope that you're still here. You're still thriving, and you're taking the opportunity of a new year to start fresh and do some cool shit in the new year, right?
Yeah.
My name is Marco Dupa, and that guy right there, that's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, Brewskis? Welcome to the kitchen. Brewskis.
Tonight's brew is from the Oviedo Brewing Company. It's their drop leaf Dunkelweizen. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? You guys have probably seen what has happened to the safety for the Buffalo Bills, Damar. Help me.
Hamlin.
Yeah. And, if you pray, obviously pray for the man's safety. Keep him in your thoughts. We're going to talk about that and just the NFL and football safety and all the controversies that are surrounding that so far. Also, what else have we got?
We also have a little thing we like to call trailer trash for the newest entry of the Evil Dead series. Mm-hmm. Evil Dead Rise. And if you didn't get enough controversy from the sports world, we got to talk about Mr. Dana White. Oh, Dana White.
And, what he views as fair and equal treatment of his spouse. You piece of shit. Hey. And then last but not least, I forgot what was the last thing.
Dwayne
The Rock Johnson. That's right.
Yes.
And his power struggle.
Speaking of meatheads.
Over at DC Studios.
Yeah.
So we're going to have all of that. Probably that.
Maybe more. We never know.
And we'll get into it. But we can't do any of that until we get into this episode proper. So welcome back to the One Beer In podcast. Yeah. Thick.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when
American runs on Dunkel. Okay. This is the One Beer In podcast, episode 377.
I think it's 76.
I don't think so. You want to find out? No.
Is that wrong?
No, this can't be.
Are we off here?
No, because hold on. Check YouTube.
Okay. All right. We have a controversy.
You might be right.
A controversy.
We got to make sure that we get this episode name correct, or episode number rather.
Alrighty.
I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
One Beer In. That's us. Oh, you're right. 77.
If we counted the best of episode.
Counted the best of. You are correct.
That's where the controversy starts and ends.
We are on 77.
You know what? Well, before we get into anything, can you tell us a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
I would love to. As you said, Marco, this is the Oviedo Brewing Co.'s Drop Leaf Dunkelweizen. It was actually brewed a bit earlier for the Oktoberfest season, and I'll get into the Oviedo Brewing Co.'s official Instagram because there is no cold read, unfortunately. New beer alert! Drop Leaf Dunkelweizen, German-style dark wheat ale with hints of sweet malt, nutty chocolate, banana, and clove. Just in time for Oktoberfest season.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
It comes in at a 5.4% ABV.
All right. That seems par the course for a Weizen. A Dunkelweizen.
A Dunkelweizen.
I would like to see the color on this, honestly.
Okay, well.
That's what I was looking back
Okay,
at,
I see.
I was debating on grabbing one of these.
I see. Okay. Not just for show.
You're going to get a lot of head on this.
Dark golden color. Look at that.
Well, that's nice.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty. It's nice amber.
Mm-hmm.
Very Oktoberfesty.
Mm-hmm. All right, one time for the one time. All right, we're back at it. Let's go. Woo! I feel energized. I feel like it's 2023. I feel like it's new. Feel like it's fresh. I shaved my head. I'm insecure about it.
Not bald.
No, I'm not insecure about it. I feel fine, guys. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
I did hear
I hope
that.
the mic picked that up.
It probably did.
All right, you ready to fucking...
I've been ready.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
I would like to get into the rock stuff first.
Okay, sure.
So, you want to do that?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
So, because this has just been fun. It's a fun saga to keep up with.
Sure.
You know.
Not for The Rock, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, not for his ego, certainly.
no.
The guy
Almost as big as he is.
he thrives on winning and being a winner and never losing and just being the man.
Yeah.
And the level of insecurity he has to have as a person who like can't seem to just accept defeat sometimes.
Yeah.
Not in this era of his career.
Sure.
Because he's been on such a winning streak for, I mean, God knows how long. I mean, ever since, like, he had the Scorpion King, which at the time he was the highest paid new actor of all time. I think it was Guinness Book of World Records. Like, he made the most money a first-time actor ever got.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Then
winning streak begins with his wrestling career.
I'm going post-winning wrestling career, but you're right. I mean, he was ever since 97, 98.
one
I
of the
mean,
top names consistently.
Yeah, so you parlay that success into this movie career, rather.
Hollywood.
And
The Rundown.
he just goes on this hot streak. And well, in the beginning he was kind of up and down,
Yeah.
right? So
I said The Rundown half joking, even though I still love that movie.
I love The Rundown. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got The Rundown. You got like Walking Tall. You've got some like straight to DVD movies. You got that one movie with Sean Williams. The other movie with Sean Williams Scott.
That one.
Southland Tales.
Okay,
that's supposed to
yeah.
be pretty good. You got Pain and Gain.
Yeah. The kid one,
The Tooth
Tooth
No,
Fairy?
not the Tooth Fairy. Well,
No.
there is the Tooth Fairy, but then there's the Game Plan, which actually is a pretty adorable movie.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, Game Plan 2007. That was early.
Yeah.
The Journey movies.
Yeah, the Journey movies were big for some reason.
Yeah. Obviously, the Fast and Furious.
Well,
series.
so I was going to wait to get to there
Okay.
because I think that right in that era
Yeah.
is where he just was. I mean, from there, he couldn't lose. He couldn't be stopped.
Sure.
Right? He does the Fast movies. He's got all the movies with Kevin Hart. The Jumanji movies were massive.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, at that point, even bad movies, people were like, well, it's The Rock. You know?
Right.
Dude just couldn't be stopped.
Yeah.
So now you've got this guy who is so massively popular that he is bordering on a presidential bid.
Sure.
I mean, he's legitimately being asked in interviews, what do you think about politics and what do you think about an eventual presidential run? You know?
Yeah.
So that's how popular and how massive this guy is.
And the state of U.S. politics, but you know,
Of course.
we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get this project that he has apparently been working on ever since someone told him that he would make a good Black Adam.
That's all it took.
That's seriously what a lot of people speculate is
Yeah.
that he wasn't a fan of the character.
Yeah.
Someone did a fan mock-up 10 years ago and was like, you'd be perfect as Black Adam. And he was like,
You know what? I would.
And then he just
Let me read up on this guy.
And from that point forward, he had been trying to develop this movie, the Black Adam movie, for years, for a full decade. He'd been trying to get this movie off the ground, right? Finally does. Finally, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt where it's due. It was a COVID movie, like it was supposed to come out like before, and it got pushed back a bunch. And a lot of the COVID movies, it's kind of hard to gauge their success because you don't know what they would have done in a landscape where people could just pop out to the theater and go see it, and no streaming services were getting these movies too fast. Like Black Adam's already on HBO Max. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it I really think, putting The Rock aside, putting the DC universe aside, all that stuff, that era of movies, the consequences of of COVID and the pandemic, I think we're still seeing the ripple effects. We're seeing it happen with HBO Max. We're seeing it happen with all these streaming services, just cutting shit and putting stuff on their services too fast.
Right.
You know,
merging, especially specifically with WB and HBO Max,
and Discovery,
Hulu. All this stuff is all very tumultuous at the moment.
Yeah, and I think most of it is due to the Panasonic.
Yeah,
you know? And we're gonna continue to see the ripple effects of that for years to come, I think. And so I get there a little bit of that is like, all right, you know, it is what it is.
Sure.
So movie comes out and it's met with middling reviews, as most of the DC movies are met with.
Sure.
But old Rocky Johnson, I mean, he couldn't accept that.
No.
Right?
Of course not.
So he goes on his Twitter account, on his Instagram account, and he's trying to spin this as any way that he can spin this into a win. And it's like, it just isn't happening.
It made money, but it wasn't the success that it should have been.
And that's partly because he was the one who hyped it up to be a success that it was never going to be.
And I will say, too, you know, I think a lot of it, and I'm not trying to, you know, give him an out here, but I will say something that you glossed over a bit is that the DC universe right now is a shit show.
Yeah, you're right.
So this was planned, and you know, you mentioned it too. He had this entire plan to eventually have a crossover with Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would require the current Superman to still be around,
right?
Which is no longer a possibility,
right?
That's off the table, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you know, that along with a felon Flash.
Felon Flash.
You know, just kind of leaves everything in this weird you know, another Paranorman sacrifice with Wonder Woman 84. I always forget the year.
Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That movie released some middling results, even though it was direct to HBO Max. You know, like people just didn't really like it that much
because it's not that good.
It's not that good. It's not very good. And you know, you're left with. I could see how he could have been working on this for years and like planning it and hyping it up, and it's suddenly just like deflating in front of him.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like the potential's there. And mind you, again, not to let him off. If the movie was good enough, it would surpass that. Surpass that. I'm getting choked up.
I know, it's okay, man.
You know, I just really like Black Adam.
I know.
And The Rock.
I know.
But you know, we've seen the success stories with like Top Gun Maverick, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Another movie that could have failed if it came out when it was supposed to, but they pushed it back.
Yeah.
And it was a huge success.
You know, Tom Cruise believed in it enough.
I guess so.
And he was right.
And it was a good enough movie.
Yeah.
You know? I have no excuses for Avatar 2, which is now the #1 movie of the year.
Because Avatar is Avatar is a thing unto itself. The people who are like it's not culturally relevant don't really understand culture, I don't think. Because one guy was like, one person said, "Oh, I see these people talking about like how successful Avatar movies have done, but nobody's memeing it. Meanwhile, Glass Onion is being memed to death."
I thought you said meanwhile for a second.
Meanwhile.
So I was about to throttle you.
No, man. You think I would ever make a pun and let it just fall on deaf ears? Like, you think I would just let that one ride
It's
into
like a bad fart.
No. We're going to acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I think that person, a lot of people agreed with him, and I think that they kind of missed the point. It's like Twitter and online is not real.
No.
That's a place where us weirdos and fringe people go to meet and talk about weirdo and fringe things.
Sure, yeah.
But normal people take their families and they all get 3D glasses and they spend like
As we did.
$80. Yeah. And they go watch the Avatar movie as a family. That movie made $1 billion in 14 days. And you know what? Now that I say that, I'm reminded that we were supposed to talk about that on this episode because I brought it up last week. So I'm glad we're even talking about it now. We might as well just skew into this.
It counts.
Let's go. 14 days. It took 14 days for it to cross $1 billion. James Cameron said that re-looking at the figures, the movie has to do 1.5 to profit. He's going to crack 2 easily. Easily.
Yeah.
Might even crack 2.5.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even think, well, I'm not going to give my opinion on the movie itself.
Sure.
We're going to save that for our one reel-in. But it's a movie that has become culture unto itself.
Yeah. It's a spectacle.
It's like you would never speculate on the profits of a carnival that comes into town, right?
Yeah.
Because it just does. It just exists. It's just a thing, and you just go.
Right.
Because everybody does. You're like, oh, it's in town. Let's go. Let's go do the thing. Let's go ride the Ferris wheel and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right. That's what Avatar is. Avatar is just a thing. It is a singular.
It's an
thing.
experience.
Yeah. So people are just gonna go because you just go. Americans just go. You know.
The world. It's one of those movies that is such a spectacle that it does, and obviously a very simple story. It will do well overseas, regardless.
I think its simplicity is part of its strength.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's like it can be translated to anything.
Yeah,
even if I guarantee, and somebody's going to do this. If you take away all the dialogue, you'll still get it. Like you'll still understand what's going on in the story.
Very much so. Yeah.
So
I think it's visually enough to just understand what's happening.
You got it.
Yeah.
You get the broad strokes.
Yeah.
So
because it is broad strokes. It's all broad strokes.
For better or worse. Like
it's paint by numbers, it's flat, it's broad strokes.
Right. Yeah.
But
mass appeal entertainment, you know. And it's a throwback to those big blockbusters. Again, we're not going to review the movie now.
No.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Nope.
But I will say, unlike Avatar, Black Adam is not that.
Right.
Even the DC universe is not that. I'd say where we sit today, the MCU is not that anymore.
Right.
It used to be. It is no longer because Phase 4 has been terrible. And by terrible, I mean it's just been fine.
Well, I think part of that is because I think Phase 4 was the first time because, again, these streaming services, they got to fill out all this content, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Disney Plus wasn't a thing. First of all, where would those TV shows go? Netflix maybe, or maybe they would be network TV shows.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd be like an ABC show.
I mean, there was the Agents of
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
For a while, yeah.
They probably would have been worse off if they had to be network TV shows.
Yeah.
My theory is that if Disney Plus wasn't a thing, a lot of the Phase 4 content would not have turned into TV shows. I think Phase 4 would have been a slate of movies.
Right.
And probably less content because of the limitations of what
definitely would have been less content.
And I think that would have worked in its favor, man.
Yeah.
The fact, like, people are upset with Phase 4 because it is, I think, objectively the worst phase so far.
Yeah.
But that's because there was so much shit that we had to, like, think about, okay, what were the movies of Phase 4? Black Panther.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Have you watched it yet?
No.
Oh, man.
Eternals in that? Or
I think
no?
Eternals is in that. Yeah.
Okay, Eternals.
There's Eternals. Okay, Black Panther, Eternals, Love and Thunder, Spider-Man, Multiverse. I think Shang-Chi is a Phase 4 movie.
Okay, yeah. Is it?
I
that
think
seems
so.
like a long time ago for it.
Phase has been going on for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
pretty sure Shang-Chi is part of Phase 4. Is Morbius in there?
No, it's not. It's certainly not.
It's Morbin.
It's not Morbin time. Shut up. Black Widow.
Wow, Black Widow is...
Yeah.
It has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Mostly okay to bad movies in Phase 4.
Yes. Okay, so here I have the full list according to Marvel Cinematic Universe Wiki. Black Widow in 2021, Shang-Chi in 2021, Eternals in 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness in 22, Love and Thunder in 22, Black Panther in 22, then the TV series as well.
All right, so before you get into the TV series,
okay.
My point was if you took away all the TV series and you just had the movies, you have still a pretty middling phase, but not nearly as bad because there's not nearly as much to judge it on. I think Black Widow's a decent movie. I mean, I think the timing of it is weird.
Yeah,
but I think that, like, as a movie itself, I think it's pretty good. Shang-Chi, good. It's
good.
Yeah, I think it's a
like
good
it.
origin movie.
Yeah.
I think homeboy Gordon Liu, right?
That's his dad.
Is that his dad? Wait, I'm thinking of the star. What's the star's name? No, the star's name is
Simu Liu.
I think he's fantastic. I thought the martial arts choreography was really good. So that was a good movie, I think.
That's Gordon Liu.
That's Gordon Liu.
I knew it was an older dude.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Sorry if that was presumptuous, maybe even racist. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm
Right.
sorry. Love and Thunder is not a good movie. So I think that's the one, like, real deal black mark on the Phase 4 movies is Love and Thunder. Eternals, I heard, is okay. Kind of a weird one.
Yeah, I mean, initially, I think it was one of the first disappointments, first big disappointments.
But then when you get Love and Thunder, you're like, maybe Eternals is not that bad. I guess my point here...
Spider-Man was good.
Spider-Man was really good.
Yeah.
My point here is that
Multiverse of Madness was good.
Yes. And I'll fight anybody on that.
And we haven't seen Wakanda Forever, but it is coming to streaming in February.
Yep.
February 1st.
I thought it was January 20th.
It's February 1st.
Oh, okay.
I think. Let me double check.
Either way, we'll be able to judge that on its own merits. But that movie was well received too. So
yes,
let's say 3 out of this. Well, it's working on what, a 50% here.
Yeah.
Either way, my point is that this phase would not have been as poorly received had it not been fleshed out with so much shit. If it was just the movies, I think it would not have been as poorly received. Well, that's my point.
And also on top of that, this was the sort of series of films, the phase, if you will, in which all of this ire came out for the MCU as far as how much they're pushing their creatives to get the job done behind the scenes. You know, the effects artists, like, apparently have been suffering under the heel of the MCU.
Yeah. But again, another symptom of the pandemic.
Sure. Yeah. No, that
not defending Disney in any way, shape, or form, or Marvel.
It didn't make it easier, though.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So,
So
know,
all of that is like it's just really hard to gauge those things on their own merits because like so much shit had to change and they had to improvise and go about things differently just because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's
for sure.
hard to it's not me trying to like find a way to defend these things because they're still bad.
Right.
But it is something that you have to think about when you're talking about movies that came out in 2020, 2021, and early 2022. You have to take into account the fact that there was a nationwide pandemic.
Worldwide,
I'm
my
sorry.
friend.
Worldwide. I meant worldwide, and I said nation because I'm selfish and I'm an American, and all
Right,
I
of
think
course.
about is myself.
Nobody else matters. Gordon
A
Liu.
worldwide, a worldwide pandemic killing thousands every day. You have to take that into account when you talk about movies in that era.
Sure.
Fast forward to 2022 with Black Adam.
Right.
let's. He's now it's coming out that Mr. Dwayne and his power struggle over at DC is way deeper than we initially
Sure.
thought, knew, or realized.
Yeah.
What he wanted, speculation, of course, this is all alleged. He basically wanted to be the guy. He wanted to take over. He wanted Black Adam, a villain in the Shazam comic books,
Right.
by the way.
No. He's an anti-hero.
An anti-hero, sorry.
Right.
This would be like if I forgot the actor's name. Fuck. The guy who played Ronan in the first Guardians movie.
Oh, yeah.
This would be like if he, obviously without the star power, obviously, very clearly,
Lee Pace.
Lee Pace. This would be like if Lee Pace was like, you know what we should do with Ronan? He should be the guy.
Yeah.
In this next phase. In
Yeah, but
phase 5.
Lee Pace isn't huge.
Huh?
Lee Pace isn't huge, though.
What do you mean, in popularity or in size?
Size. He does not have the muscles.
No, but I mean, they built him up to look like he was huge.
No, sure.
I think he was pretty big in Guardians.
I guess.
He looked good in Guardians.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the
Oh, no,
Rock.
Lee-
Nobody's the Rock.
Lee Pace is a beautiful human being.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
Lee Pace.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Basically, it's insane. If the character was played by literally any other actor on the planet, he would have just been a villain in the next Shazam movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that The Rock was so obsessed with taking this niche character and turning him into a worldwide phenomenon may be the first chink in the armor
Yeah.
of this guy who seemed to be perfect.
Well, I will say a lot of people won't see it that way. I'll tell you why.
Tell me why, please.
When you have, well, first of all, when you have an actor, I won't even say an actor, but like a personality as big as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and I assume you've paid enough for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he's not gonna just be, a side character. Mm-hmm. He's gonna have to, even see the right way to do this would have been to have him as a villain in Shazam first, let him be the main villain, and then turn him.
Yeah.
Just like wrestling. Let him turn, and then suddenly he's on top.
You would think that a guy like The Rock would understand that.
It would make perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
But instead we start with him as an anti-hero already, and I don't know. But on top of that, I think a lot of people will say that's why The Rock is The Rock. That's why he's so successful, is because he's such a franchise guy.
Yeah.
He's such a guy that, won't settle for anything but a full takeover.
Yeah.
Which is apparently what he tried to do with Fast and Furious.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Right. Which, didn't work out because there was another megalomaniac on the other side.
Another alpha male.
Another alpha that they couldn't find any peace to make more money together.
I think, though, that like if The Rock had just an ounce of self-awareness, he'd understand that seeing a personality as big as his showing up in a movie just doing their job and getting out of the way to let the other guys do their thing is awesome.
Yeah.
There are actors who understand that their star power is enough, that all they have to do is walk on stage and people go, holy fucking shit. And then they walk away and then it's like, did you fucking see that? He was there. It's crazy. Yeah. And that's all they need to do.
There's been flashes of that with him, though.
I know.
No pun intended. But, where he's had little, walk-on spots. What was the one with Will Ferrell? The good guys?
The other guys.
The other guys.
That was when he was, building up that repertoire of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Samuel Jackson, obviously Sam is in the stratosphere.
Legendary, yeah.
To put them together, that was fucking hilarious.
Right. And they were there for all of 5 minutes in the movie.
Perfect.
And it was great.
Perfect.
It was great.
Him being the big bad in Fast 5, but not being the star of it was perfect.
Great. Yeah.
It just, if he could just have a little bit of self-awareness now, but he can't at this point. And it was like you're saying, I mean, at this point he's too big to be anything but the franchise guy. Right. It's like when you ask Carmelo Anthony to come off the bench and he's like, I'm the franchise player.
Right.
This team is built around me. And it's like, you're not that guy anymore. And The Rock was really never that guy.
No.
He never pushed himself to be that guy.
No.
He's the biggest movie star in the world, but he's a C+ actor.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny to see, now Batista's rise to I wouldn't even say fame, but just a level of credentials that The Rock doesn't have as an actor.
Yeah.
After doing it for far less time.
Yeah.
And
you can just see where their priorities are.
Taking the roles, just taking those side parts, those bit parts that challenge him to do something differently than just being the big hulking guy.
Right.
He's recently been quoted as saying, essentially, this is my last Guardians because I don't want to be known as just Drax.
Yeah.
Because Drax is such a limiting character for me. I want to act more. I want to do more challenging roles.
Yeah.
I want to do other things. I want to be typecast.
Well, I mean, imagine the struggle of being somebody who's in peak physical condition and feeling sorry for that person because they're typecast as that person.
Right.
And you're like, oh man, I'm sure that if he was a smaller guy, a more quote unquote normal looking
guy,
person,
he'd get more roles.
Well,
no, I mean, you said it yourself. People were online bullying him because he didn't look like he did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
On TV.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, man.
He's still huge. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, if you watch the holiday special, Drax is wearing this sleeveless cutoff thing.
Yeah.
And to me, the only reason I noticed it was because he had to say something about it.
Yeah.
Because so many people were like, what the fuck? And he's like, listen, I am in my 40s.
Right.
I can't work out like that
My
anymore.
body hurts.
Can you imagine
It
the amount of
hurts.
steroids he probably used to take in when he was wrestling?
God.
He's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I just
Yeah.
want to act. I want to be
Right.
a regular guy.
Found a new
I
love.
can't do this. I still want to lift weights and be healthy, but I
Right.
can't maintain those abs. And people are like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You
And-
don't look like you did.
Most of those people look like me.
Exactly.
So, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, The Rock, I think, this is pretty clear at this point, has an ego problem.
Yeah.
With not being the main man, not having the spotlight on him. And I think that this will be my final thought on it. If he doesn't change his attitude on that very quickly, you will see the fall of The Rock. It's this Hollywood is a machine, a mountain, a planet, a rock, and that doesn't move and shake for one person.
No.
So if you have to abide by some of the rules, and obviously there's some rules that you can break, and there's some ways that you can slip and slide and supersede some of these things, but there are some rules that you have to abide by.
You got to go with the tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the audience is rejecting what you're doing, at some point you got to be like, I need to do something different.
Sure.
Or I'm going to lose them.
Yeah.
I love The Rock as a wrestler. I love The Rock as a personality.
Mm-hmm.
But as an actor, he's always been like, he's The Rock. He's
Yeah,
you know.
Charismatic, but
unless he wants to have the rest of his career just be that's The Rock playing a guy. And he can do that. He can certainly do fucking 15 more movies just being The Rock in a thing.
Yeah.
If that's what he wants to do, that's fine. But if he wants to move on and do more creative stuff and have more creative control and, you know, this, that, and the other, something's got to change, man.
Yeah.
Something's got to change.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, we spent way too much time on The Rock.
I know. We went to Avatar. We went different places.
Well, I think that's fine.
It's fine.
But we're at 36, 35-ish.
Okay.
So let's get into the other stuff. Let's kind of like get through it. Right?
Okay. Well, you know, how do you feel about getting into the NFL real quick? Since we're talking about hulking men.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so Damar Hamlin. I said at the top of the show, you know, thoughts and prayers and all that jazz. I don't mean to sound crass. I'm just saying, like, you know, what else can we really say at this point for a man? And at the time of this recording, he is in the hospital, still in critical condition, but his breathing is returning to normal. I think they said he's at 50% oxygen. He's not out of the woods yet, and we really hope that, you know, this man can pull through and hopefully lead a normal life.
He's only 24 years old.
I mean, young guy.
Crazy.
He was on a team that was on the path to Super Bowl, and at the very least, I mean, obviously we would love to see him. Well, I shouldn't say we. I would say some of us would love to see him return to the game that he loves to play.
Yeah.
But at the very, very least, just hope that this guy can come back and just lead a normal life.
Who wouldn't want to see that?
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Plenty of people.
Really?
Yes. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with this topic was.
Right. Well, tell me, inform me.
So the amount of people that have come out and are like, their point around all of this is that the NFL should be abolished, or that we need to stop playing this game. It's too violent and all this stuff. Those opinions come from people who don't watch the NFL, don't like sports. They're the kind of people who say shit like, "Oh, you're playing fantasy football, hand egg a little." The people who make those corny, nerdy jokes. Yeah, the people. Oh, we're watching sports ball. The people who the people who don't fucking pay attention or care about sports. Listen, let me just say, I understand if you're a person who doesn't like sports, doesn't pay attention to sports. I get that you grew up, you know, paying attention to different things, living a different life, and feeling like the NFL and sports in general was just grown men being paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game.
Yeah, it's not valuing sports.
I get that, okay? I understand that. But what I'm telling you is that as much as you want people to value your opinion on, say, movies or comic books or video games or whatever thing interests you, art, anything that say you think is niche and you value, and something that is life-changing for you, and you would want people to value your opinion on that, and not only your opinion on that thing, but value the existence of that thing.
Sure.
I think that although the people who love sports that you have encountered in your life may be douchey people, there are millions and millions of people who like sports just because they grew up around sports and they love those things. And they're also not shitty people.
Hashtag not all fans.
and those people, their opinions on things and their love of that thing should not be discounted because your experience with people who enjoy sports has not been always positive.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So I just don't like those takes. When I see those takes about, like, let's just get rid of sports in general. Like, oh, okay. Not only hundreds and hundreds of people lose their jobs instantly.
Thousands of people.
Well, yeah.
You think about professional sports, like,
right? True,
you know.
It's true. There's 100 people on each team,
right?
Let alone the managers and the agents, the
trainers,
the
coaches,
people who fucking mop up the floors.
Right.
I mean, the people who maintain the stadiums.
Yeah.
All of those people lose their job.
Broadcasters.
Yeah. Not only that, but billions of people now just have nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those takes are drive me
it's
crazy.
It's entertainment like any other thing, just like a movie is, just like anything else. But it is inherently different because it has a live human element to it. So you can call it barbaric if you want, and I understand why. I personally take issue with the NFL themselves because I think that they've very clearly shown their hand as to what their true best interests are in their own hearts.
Yeah.
I think it's very clear that they put money and the business end of this above the competitors and the players who put their lives on the line every day for our entertainment and for their paycheck. I think it's very clear. I'm under no illusion that that's not what they care about at the end of the day is the dollar bills at the end of it.
Yeah.
But to suggest that American football should no longer be played because it's too dangerous is silly.
Yeah.
It is flat out silly. And I think that, there have been a lot of advances as far as safety goes, as far as trying to refine the game to make it safer to play, let alone, more advanced helmets and pads and research into CTE and things like that. Of course, the NFL is very sketchy when it comes to CTE and acknowledging that, and so they can obviously do better with that. But I think this was very clearly a freak accident. Yeah, it sucks that it happened, but I don't think it was avoidable as the game is played. It wasn't like a head-to-head where it's like, okay, we're gonna enforce targeting even more strictly than we ever have before, or we're gonna remove this play or that play. That's not what happened. It was, if anyone's seen it, which I watched it live, it seemed like a nothing play. It seemed like anything else. It wasn't more brutal than anything else. It just so happened that this thing resulted from it, and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, his not only that, but like the tackle that he made was a very like spot on, very safe tackle in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
So the idea that you could do anything different than what was done, and people like blaming T. Higgins, the receiver who caught the ball, and the way that he like lowered his shoulder and everything. It's like, it's.
Or the vaccine.
Or the vaccine. Dude, the people, oh my God. I don't even want to give them the time of day.
No.
The people blaming the vaccine, it's not even worth. It's not even worth the time and the trouble.
The energy.
But it's just, but you brought up a good point. It's really the onus is on the NFL. If you want to talk about or to anybody, it's not Damar, it's not T. Higgins, it's not Vincent, Troy Vincent, the Players Association president, it's the NFL. It's Roger Goodell. It's the people who run the show, who are now backtracking on the fact that they told these guys you got 5 minutes to warm up and then get back out there, and the teams and organizations had to bring it upon themselves to go, we're not doing this.
We're not gonna do it.
So now you have to figure it out because we're not doing that.
Right. It's ridiculous. And mind you, the truth will come out.
Yeah.
It's very easy to backtrack, or not backtrack, but to trace where that came from.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come from nowhere.
Yeah, you think Joe Buck just made that up when he started talking about it?
Right. Because it was very clearly what was happening on the field.
Yeah.
That's why they were trying to amp themselves back up to get back in the game.
Because they were told to.
Right. That didn't come from Joe Buck.
Yeah. Joe Buck, he didn't go out on the field and say, we got a game to play, fellas.
I'm bored tonight. I could have been home.
I was paid to announce a game, and that's what I'm going to do.
Damn it.
Get back out there.
Yeah. So, I would like to see something happen. Somebody on the line for this. Because
ain't nothing going to happen.
It took an hour for them to decide to call the game, right?
Yeah.
It took an hour. I was watching.
Yeah.
I was waiting for them to do it. Because at one point, mind you, I think in this terrible situation, the one silver lining of it is you saw how incredible the live broadcasters were in that moment.
Yeah.
To have to just be there in the moment and describe what was happening and their emotions and all of that. Incredible work by everybody on that staff.
I don't even like Joe Buck, but you got to give him credit where it's due.
God, it was great. Everybody involved with that broadcast was top tier on their game.
Yeah.
But, like it took an hour. It took an hour for them to decide to finally call the game.
Yeah.
And I think anyone could have told you, anyone watching, anyone who's ever played football, anybody who's ever watched football could tell you right there and then, after seeing what happened and the expressions on the players' faces, they can't play the game tonight.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. They took an hour because, in my opinion, they were formulating how much money they lose by not playing the game, and then also having their PR team run suddenly to figure out how to cover their own asses.
Yeah.
Because that's all that little press release they came out with at finally within an hour's time.
Yeah.
Once that came out, I was like, it's so clear they are just trying to cover their own asses.
Yeah.
The verbiage of like, he was helped immediately and et cetera, et cetera. It's like,
And it's like, no, we did our jobs, guys. We did our
right,
jobs.
right,
Like,
right.
okay,
Sure,
okay.
it was just so clearly,
I got it.
so clearly cover your ass.
Yeah.
That it was like, it was almost cringy in the way that it was so obvious.
Yeah.
that's all they were doing with that statement. So, I think that's all it was. I think that's literally all it was. If you were thinking as a human being, you could have I give you 15 minutes, assess the situation, realize how serious it is, and then go cancel the game.
Yeah.
We're postponing. We're going to figure out the details later. We're postponing. That's
Yeah.
it. Simple.
Yeah. No, it should have been an instant reaction to what had happened. There's no other recourse.
Right.
It should have been an instant decision. You see that happen and you go, we can't continue this game.
Well, I love that the broadcasters were getting a little chippy with the NFL themselves, saying like, it's obvious they can't play the game.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Like, don't
Yeah.
even, why are we still here?
I mean, can you imagine not only the Bengals team trying to play, but the Bills trying to play after that, after watching
No.
what happened to their teammate?
Absolutely not.
Trying to go back out there.
Like, your
and
head's gonna be in the
pretend
game.
oh, yeah, no, there's no way to...
You saw your teammate resuscitated, like
9 minutes.
Yeah.
9 minutes they did CPR on this guy.
Yeah.
9 minutes.
his heart stopped.
Dude.
Yeah,
I couldn't even fathom.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody tweeted about this, and they were like, "This is like late stage capitalism." Can you imagine watching your coworker need to be resuscitated, and then your company asking you to get back to work, and then the next slide in the tweet was that story about how some old guy or girl or woman, I can't remember, they were an older person, they dropped dead in an Amazon warehouse, and they put boxes around their dead body
God.
until the ambulance could come.
Oh, why
and
didn't they
pick
just bury
up.
them in the Amazon boxes?
Seriously.
Yeah.
And they told everybody to like get back to work. Like,
Wow.
they couldn't.
That's crazy.
And it's like
Not surprising, but crazy.
we as a society have like lost a bit of humanity that I don't think we'll ever get back.
Yeah.
And when it's stuff like this, it really brings that into focus, like how much we've lost that little bit of humanity when it comes to like, if there is a large enough dollar amount, how much humanity are you willing to lose?
Sure.
And the NFL proves every week.
That money is the root of all evil. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of the root of all evil, Dana White beats his wife.
I love that you did that because that's exactly what I was about to do. That was exactly the segue I was about to make. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this story is developing, so hopefully next week we get more details and we see any consequences.
There's going to be nothing. There's
Yeah.
going to be nothing. Nothing.
Now, we've talked about mixed martial arts and the UFC on this podcast a lot.
One of our most popular videos, actually.
That's right.
Yeah. Anderson Silva, right?
Yeah, it was Anderson
the
Silva.
Doping scandal.
Yes. And so I think it's safe to say that we're pretty big fans of mixed martial arts and the UFC.
We know stuff.
We know a little bit.
Yeah.
And this video comes out about Dana White on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. In, was it Cancun or Puerto Vallarta?
Somewhere
in Mexico?
Someplace in Mexico.
Yeah.
He gets into a verbal altercation with his wife that quickly turns physical. It's caught on camera. His wife slaps him, and then he proceeds to slap her twice back. You can look up the video once. If you want to. No, it was twice. He hits her back, and then he hits her again. If you want to look up the video because you're, weirdo or whatever, that's on you.
Yeah.
I didn't look up the video. I stumbled upon it. I didn't really want to watch it. Didn't need to
Same,
watch
actually. I was on Twitter, and I just saw it.
Yeah.
It was just out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's like, oh, my God, it's so violent. He just you don't want to. I mean, I don't want to watch a guy beat his wife.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Gross. It's gross.
But, I mean, this video comes out, and man, oh, man, the sports media cycle this past week has been really crazy because you had, obviously, what happened to Damar Hamlin.
Right.
You had Dana White hit his wife.
Yeah.
Then you had Donovan Mitchell score 71 points, the third most in the history of the NBA. And he got literally no coverage.
No one cares.
I know, it's terrible.
Sorry.
71 points. 71 points and 11 assists. It's actually the second most points assisted or scored on in the history of the NBA. Obviously, Will Chamberlain, 100 points.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to touch that.
Sure.
But he scored or assisted on 99 points in that game the other day. And got no coverage for it.
No, absolutely not. No.
Nothing. So it was a pretty crazy sports media cycle.
Yeah.
Dana White is probably going to face next to no consequences for this. And it was ironic because in 2014, he was quoted as saying, "You can't come back from hitting your wife or girlfriend." That is something that you have the quote?
Direct quote.
Please.
There is never, ever an excuse for a guy to put his hands on a woman.
There you go.
He quoted himself in his apology.
And
He did. That's what I have pulled up, actually.
Unreal. Unfucking real.
Yeah.
And he says that it was brought on by booze.
Right.
But that's no excuse and yada, yada,
And
yada.
he's talked to his wife. He's apologized. They have both apologized to each other. Then she came out with her own statement and said that, we've been with each other for 30 years. Mm-hmm. This is out of character. Mm-hmm. And, we both have taken responsibility for each of our responsibilities within this kerfuffle. Mm-hmm. So kind of taking the onus off of him a little bit.
Let me tell you something. Respect to his wife. There's no way that you've been with somebody for 30 years and that's the first time that you slapped them like that.
Sure.
I don't believe that for a second. There's no way.
The slapping league, he may have had bad influences.
Who were the influences?
The slappers in the slapping league
the
that he's
slap
starting.
League, yeah. He's watching those guys crack off on each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I think I could do that.
My wife could use this.
she's getting a little lippy. Listen, I don't believe for a millisecond that that's the first time that he's placed his hands on his wife, okay?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you this for certain, that I've been drunk before. I've argued with a girlfriend before while being drunk.
Right.
And not even an ounce of me wanted to put my hands on them.
Yeah. That's rough.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm, who am I, right? Wow. I'm just a guy.
Old softy over here.
Old softy. Wow. I'm just, and that's the response to this information, this video coming to light, and some of the people who call themselves MMA fans, who call themselves humans, who call themselves men, who could see that video and say, well, she slapped him first, so that's fair game.
Right. You
You think it's okay to like hit your wife, the person that you've been with for 30 years, multiple times because she slapped you, and we're the soft ones.
Sure. Yeah. Which is really weird when you think about a lot of these guys tend to be like traditionalists, traditional family, the nuclear family.
That comes along with it. I don't think it's ironic at all.
Oh, no, because at least from a certain purview, you never hit a woman, right? Like that's just general information.
You never hit a woman unless she deserves it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's the part that you're missing.
I missed that part.
Yeah. Unless she gets a little too lippy. You never place your hands on a
so
woman.
we're going from the Sean Connery school.
Yes. See, now you're getting it.
I see.
Rest in peace to Barbara Walters.
Barbara Walters, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's really the lesson here. She went too far. She went too far, and she got what, not to say that she got what she deserved, but, you gotta put them in.
Right. Equality, right? If she hits you, you can hit her right back.
That's equality.
Wow.
Equality.
Okay.
I mean, all in all, we're probably not going to see anything happen of this.
I can guarantee we're not going to see anything because of both of their statements.
Yeah.
And the fact that, he's the top dog. If this happened with a fighter, maybe there'd be something going on.
Yeah.
But
and he has the power. He has too much power there. He's the president of the UFC.
Right.
You think any of these journalists are going to press him on that?
No.
You think?
No.
You think that a guy who has such a fragile ego that he got his feelings hurt when Ariel Helwani revealed some information that he quote unquote wasn't supposed to,
he's
and
persona
then
non grata.
banned him for life?
Yeah.
You think
And
that
still
guy
talks shit about him to this day?
to this day, he's like, he's a piece of shit.
I'm up to date with the drama.
Oh man. So you think that he's gonna react that way to somebody doing something like that? You think that he wouldn't blacklist any journalist who even thought about bringing up his domestic violence?
No. They're going to treat it like a personal issue that, shouldn't be talked about because it's between him and his wife.
Right. And they're going to talk about fighting.
Sure.
They're going to pretend like it didn't even happen.
Right. Well, an uplifting story for the masses. Well, we can end the show on something a little more fun, I think.
Yeah.
And it's something called Trailer Trash.
Trailer Trash. We just got a quick one for you guys because one big trailer, especially for this podcast, has come out, and it's the prequel, I guess. Is it a prequel or a sequel?
Unclear.
Yeah.
Unclear on what it is.
So it's called Rise, but it looks like it's set in a modern time.
I want to say it is its own sort of standalone thing because it doesn't, at least from this first trailer, has no real connection other than the Book of the Dead. So I want to say its own thing. But
it's
obviously,
Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise with its own vibe because this looks clearly far less funny.
Yeah.
It looks more along the lines of the remake.
Yeah.
Where it's more like straight up horror, with a little over the top violence.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow,
Buddy.
This looks a little scary.
Yeah. I mean, I was by myself and I gasped. Oh my God. I can't believe they did that.
The sort of innovation that they have with their violence is awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
I really love what they're doing with the level of violence that they're bringing to the stage here, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do in 2023.
Yes, it is.
But I too went ooh, even just on the trailer. And again, it looks like I've always loved the idea of the Deadites like being so scary because they are personal to you and they're no longer themselves. It's like The Exorcist, but they're also zombies.
Yeah.
And so it's like them and they can bring out their original like host sometimes to talk to you and like lure you into a false sense of safety and then attack you. And I always thought that was really creepy.
Yeah.
And this seems to be playing on that a lot, which I think is super smart. Because it's all about a family, and the mom is the one that's sort of the host of this evil.
Yeah.
And
well, that shot of her on the in the peephole.
Oh, yeah.
So unsettling and creepy.
Yes. And levitating on the lake.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah. It all looks really cool. It looks very serious and very scary. I am a little afraid that it's going to be a little too Conjuring. I hope that they keep sort of the at least a whiff of cheese.
Just a whiff of cheese.
Just a little,
just a
slight whiff of cheese. I think it's necessary for any Evil Dead franchise entry.
Yeah.
And I mean, how can you not when you have a Book of the Dead, with human skin?
Right.
But
and teeth.
Yeah, and teeth now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks great.
So all in all, not trash.
Not trash.
I mean, there's not really much to say. It's a teaser, and you guys can go and watch it for yourselves pretty quick, but it should get you excited to watch some more Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So
love the amount of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good signs. And a chainsaw, of course.
You gotta have a chainsaw.
Of course.
Groovy. All right. It's nice, right?
Yeah, I think
so. You know
so.
what? That was a fun, thing to end it on. But we still have one more thing to kind of lift everybody's spirits.
Sure.
And that is the cheers of the week. So, Obi, without further ado, you want to tell us what your cheers is?
I would love to. And something that we've talked about off mic, but I feel like it's worth speaking to on air. It is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Here. Big fan of Guillermo del Toro. His Pinocchio is exactly as weird, as dark, as heartfelt, as you would expect.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I may have touched on it on
another
episode.
You did talk about the movie itself.
Right. I feel like it deserves the cheers of the week, though, the special praise that comes with that, because I highly recommend it, and I want everybody to go out there and watch it on Netflix. I feel like it's kind of good for everybody.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare, could be for kids, could be for adults kind of movies. Nothing too violent, nothing too over the top, no bad language. Some heavy themes. You may have to talk to your kid about what's going on in certain situations. Read up on your history a little bit, but very good, very interesting movie. Incredible stop motion animation, maybe the best I've ever seen.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to all the people out there that actually make New Year's resolutions. We talked about last week about how we don't do them anymore.
Yeah.
And we talked about creative ways to kind of get around the New Year's resolution.
Sure. Take the pressure off a little bit. Yeah.
But I would like to say to the people out there who actually still make New Year's resolutions, I appreciate you still keeping up the good fight. If you got a goal in mind, I hope that you reach that thing. If you got a resolution that you need the beginning of the year to kind of get you off your ass, whether it's working out, whether it's eating healthy, whether it's reading more, whether it's being more present, whether it's cherishing your loved ones, whatever that thing may be. I hope that you reach those goals, and I hope I'm happy that although to me a New Year's resolution doesn't really do it, doesn't really help. I know that it just doesn't change my frame of mind.
Right.
If it does for anybody else, I hope that it works for you. So 2023, my cheers goes out to the people that are still trying to change their life at the beginning of the year, or do something, anything, just a little fun little thing to better themselves. So
it's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you people.
Okay.
All right.
What do you mean, you people?
Before we get out of here, you know what we have to do, and that's review these brewskis.
That's right.
So let's talk about it. This is the Drop Leaf Dunkel from Oviedo Brewing Company. And Obi, what'd you think of this brewski?
Yes, I really like it. It's smooth, flavorful. I will say it doesn't quite hit all the notes that they describe here with the sweet malt, nutty chocolate, banana, and clove.
Yeah.
I'm not getting all of that. I'm getting some of that, which, to me, it's good enough. It's nice. If they have it on draft, I would definitely give it a shot. I'm more of a Hefeweizen kind of guy myself, but this is a nice change of pace and definitely good for the Oktoberfest sort of season. I can see why this would work then. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I liked it. I really did like it, and I would recommend it for people who may be inclined.
All right.
Yeah.
This one's a little more difficult for me, and I'll tell you why. I do not like Hefeweizens.
Oh.
I understand. I understand them. I just don't like them.
Okay.
I don't like the clove. I don't like the banana notes in a beer. It just doesn't do it for me.
I love the banana.
And I have never liked Hefeweizens. I've tried on multiple occasions. I've drank the best of the best, believe you me, and it just doesn't do it for me.
Wow.
So it's hard to say that this is a unbiased, non-skewed.
That's never been our sort of appeal here.
Right, that's true.
You know?
That's true. That's true.
They know us now.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
I hope so. I hope that you go back and you look at all the episodes and you know that I don't think I've ever brought a Hefeweizen to the table because I don't want to drink it.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah, I just don't dig them.
I love Hefeweizens, and I just never knew that about you.
Yeah, we have one on at Red Light all the time, at least one or two, and like wheat beers, Hefeweizens, just wheat beers in general, just don't, they're not my bag, baby.
It's fine.
And so, all that being said, I do appreciate the full-bodiedness of this, the amber color to it, the maltiness. I do think that the maltiness comes through. I do think that I agree with you. Some of the other notes that they said that we're supposed to get, not really getting them. As far as like a traditional Hefeweizen, I would go so far as to even say that the things that I don't like about Hefeweizens are not present in this one, and so kind of makes it a little bit better than your traditional Weizen beer.
Right.
I think I would like it less if they had hit the notes that they said that they would hit, ironically.
Okay. All right.
All that being said, I'm still going to give it a 3.5. 3.5.
Okay.
So there you go. I think, if you dig the Weizen style beer, Hefeweizens and anything like that, I think they got it. This one's nice. This one's nice. If this is on draft over at Oviedo Brewing Co., I would say try it.
Easy drinker.
Yeah.
It's a good entry level beer.
Very much so.
Yeah.
All right. So 3.5 for myself and a 4.5 for you, sir.
That's right.
You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.